We're prepared for tomorrow. Just a quick reminder, tomorrow the market does close early. Okay, I think we're closing at 2 o'clock, a couple hours early. All right, in observance of July 4th. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started and talk about today's market. All right, good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 2nd, 2019. SPY is going to close up 0.26. Ignore this bottoming tail. That is a bad tick there. Q's up 0.4%. Coming into today, the bias was bullish as long as yesterday's low held. We did an hourly buy setup and we double bottom. There it is on the SPY as well. Ignore this bad tick here. Double bottom on the SPY as well. The larger time frames look bullish as well on the Qs and SPY, so we are still bullish going into tomorrow. All right, same level as yesterday or coming into today. Just going to use this hourly buy setup low. We got follow through now. Okay, so just looking at this, see if we break this hourly uptrend, we will switch to a neutral bias, but we remain bullish today. Nice follow through there on the Qs. I think it's pretty interesting. We got this double bottom here, right? And we went over this kind of occurrence that was happening pretty often. We talked about it in the MU last week, right here, okay? And the reason that I go over them is not to say, look, isn't it so obvious that we can do it and catch it every time? Here it is on the MU. It's to point out that this is what it looks like in practice, as opposed to kind of in a textbook or in some really old chart, right? This is a recent chart. And then recognize it and then continue to play it until they stop working. So that started with the MU. I mean, it's not the first time. I think we're all aware of double bottoms. Just notice that they were coming up quite a bit, right? We saw a similar one on the MPTN yesterday that did rally us up. See, here it is, to new highs, right? And then we got this breakout failure, which I would like to come back to. This is another thing that we're gonna talk about today. Okay, and we got this double bottom here on the NPTN, and then that got us back up to the highs, right? And then we also got it today in the AMRN here today. Okay, so AMRN, right? We got the bottom, tried to rally, came back in, set in an equal low, and then got that very, very nice uptrend started from there. Okay, so I hope you kind of understand that, you know, when I go over this, is not just to say, oh, look how nice it is in hindsight, right? It's to say this is the pattern that I'm seeing that is working, right? So that when it comes up, right, you can play them. Now, of course, if you're in the room, right, then you will have the plays called for you. But I know there are a lot of people who watch the market wrap who aren't subscribed to the room or are still considering whether or not to subscribe to the room, right? And so even if you're not in the room, you know, I'm just sharing with you what is working, okay? And so we talked about it MU. Same goes for the double top. You know, we used the CAG as the example last week. We are seeing some nice follow through, especially to the upside. So here it is on the Qs, gonna kind of playing itself out again here, double bottom there, and then falling through. Just a retest of support, right? Buyer stepped up and they got rewarded, and so expect them to do what they will, what works until it doesn't. That's part of the power behind the double bottom. Okay, so AMRN, very, very nice follow through. If you use the hourly or the 65-minute management, you could have kept a runner all the way into the close here, okay, on the AMRN. All right, so also wanted to go over another concept here, which I reference in the MPTN, and that is the breakout failure. If you play a lot of breakouts, then you've surely seen this before, and it's something that we have to respond to, right? I know a lot of people feel like, oh, breakouts always fail or breakouts don't work. It's true. A lot of breakouts do fail, okay? And a lot of them fail in the same exact way, okay? Which is that they get this big volume here, breakout, okay? And this looks like it's good. You know, you got momentum behind it. The problem with this, when you get the wide range bar and the big volume, is that everyone is buying at the same time, whether it's shorts covering, longs getting in, they're all doing it at the same time. And then there's no one left to support it. So you get this little bit of a pause. That's the inside bar, right? And then it fails. Okay, so this, we had been in it from here. As soon as this happened, right, that was a big concern for us. I, in this instance, did not react to it. I thought, okay, maybe the support holds. You can see this breakout failure really did put the top in, right? So when I see something like this, right, and I have to also kind of react to it, say, okay, the breakout failures, doesn't matter how much more bullish the symbol is than the market, how well it's doing, this kind of breakout failure is going to probably break through support. So you can expect next time we run into this situation, right, I'm going to start to tighten up, use that inside bar to trail. Okay, I saw that again today to the other side, right, on the VLO. Wasn't a play, but very, very blatantly the same exact way at bottom. See that? Breakdown, and then inside bar, and then right back up the other way. So these kind of traps, and they don't even have to be traps. I know that traps makes it sound like there are people out to get us or, you know, make us lose money. But it's just the way that this trend is ending, okay? Is that last bit of people, last bit of longs that need to get out, last bit of shorts who are trying to find a way in, all do it at the same time, and then there's no more follow through. In PTN, right? Really, if I were, you know, of course, had a chance to have it back, right? Maybe we trail another portion of it, maybe trail all of the rest as we got that breakout failure. Of course, I didn't know that that was going to be the case at the time, but of course, right, I can benefit from it knowing that breakout failures, breakdown failures based on this huge breakout with volume, get an inside bar, is something we have to respond to, okay? Something else I said I wanted to start doing is going over what the favorites were from the morning and then seeing how they materialize. As you guys know, yesterday I had 3 favorites. 3 favorites. None of them really set up because NPTN was not initially on the favorites list. And then for today we had 3. I also had 3 favorites. That's not necessarily the goal, just the way that it kind of set up there on today's gaps. The favorites today were the AMRN. Okay, this was a very good gap following through on the larger time frame. You see it's already carved out this base, trying to get followed through on the gap up here. And so this was the favorite gap up, and then I had 2 favorite gap downs. One was the AYI, and then the other was the GBX. Okay, so you can see actually the 2 gap downs, I wanted to see them follow through lower. Actually, both got bought. AYI and GBX both got some follow through at the open. So if you play the open, there was potential here, right? But then after that, they reversed hard, right? And there wasn't much to be had. So AYI and GBX, unless you played it right at the open, which I did not, ended up going the other way, okay? And so these didn't end up materializing into good short patterns later in the day besides the open. I think the GBX actually had a very nice level 2 setup. Getting filled, on the other hand, would have been quite a challenge, I think. There was a good amount of spread on this GBX right at the open. So if you play, you know, like 1 minute high lows, right? If you play as soon as it breaks the low, I think there was some to get out there, but it put in the bottom pretty quick and rallied. So, you know, the gap downs, as we can see, these I thought were the best 2 gap downs. The GBX and the AYI ended up getting bought. So also something to be aware of and carry forward. I thought that was a pretty good gap down in AYI, gapping underneath this base after a breakout and potentially trapping some longs. But it looks like they all got out at the beginning that they needed to and then ran into some support. So, you know, look at that support right into that bottoming tail. Let's see how close that was. I know the AYI does trade with some spread there too, 120.56. So 20 cents there. And this quite often had more than 20 cents spread. So looks like it got to the target there, got to the support, and then found some buyers there. Okay, so I think we went over all the things that I wanted to go over today. Talk about the breakout failure, breakdown failure, you know, when to react to it, how should we manage if we're going to avoid taking a full stop on stuff like that. Talked about the double bottom entries on the AMRN, talked about the management as well, right? If you can hold, if you want to try to hold these all day, right? This is pretty easy. You just got to wait until the next bar forms. That's the most challenging part of it, is kind of letting the next bar form. Otherwise, I think as far as pivots are concerned, this actually held as far as pivots go. Didn't actually kind of get going until after the first 30 minutes or so. Finally got some follow through. So on the, it looked like on the DOVA and the GBX had to be fast, and then on the AMRN had to be a little bit patient. So some interesting follow through on those. All right, so that's gonna do it for today. Gonna be bullish going into tomorrow. Qs and SPY both bullish on the larger time frames and on the shorter time frames. We've now established that hourly uptrend on the Qs and SPY to go along with the daily, weekly, monthly uptrends. Okay, so remaining bullish until we take out yesterday's low, and then we'll have a nice short day tomorrow, and then the day after, in observance of July 4th, we will be closed. All right, so I will talk to you guys a little bit earlier tomorrow once we get the close, and then I'll wish you guys a nice day off. But we'll see what the market brings tomorrow. Tomorrow is a shortened day, and then we'll go from there. All right, so hope you have a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.